We've had countless statements on social media from COC, from the IOC, from the NBA, from the NFL, as you heard there, an organization as well, Skate Canada, which issued earlier this week a statement of solidarity, similarly. But a prominent member of that community within Canada has come forward to take exception to the statement, quick to take to Twitter and call out Skate Canada for his perception of that statement. There you see him, Asher Hill, who is my guest this morning. And welcome to our program, Asher. Great to have you on. Good morning.
Thank you.
I am wondering, as I mentioned, you turned to social media. You spoke to our Devin Haru from CBC Sports to talk about your reaction to something that I'm going to bring up on screen. It was the statement that originally came out from Skate Canada, which begins, Skate Canada supports a safe, open and inclusive environment for everyone. What was it about that post that you were reacting to?
Pretty much the first sentence. My experience with Skate Canada was nothing like that. Last year, I had come forward with complaints against a fellow coach at a club I used to skate at, or coach at, Skate Canada Brampton Chinguzi, that was pretty much bringing forward incidents of racism, harassment, abuse of skaters and coaches, misogynistic language used against female coaches, and they pretty much abdicated their role in investigating them properly, and eventually actually found, reprimanded me.
They brought in a third-party investigator and concluded the allegations were unsubstantiated at the time. But your experience as you came forward to complain to them, what did you, if you can give us some details, I don't know if the language is such that we can use on the air, but what were the kinds of things that you witnessed and also experienced, Asher?
I would hear sentences like, all Filipinos are lazy. I skated with a half Filipina woman for 14 years of my life. I would also I also had a coach refer to Black people with the N-word. Hearing things like all Asians can't express and look the same. So I felt the racism directed towards me, and as well as directed towards other races, especially those of color. That always hurts you when you hear things like that. It's like I'm right here. I'm a person of color. You thinking you can identify and speak that way is just wrong, and it almost kind of rolls off a lot of the tongue of a lot of coaches, people who should be knowing better.
You went public with your concerns about that initial statement, and what kind of a response have you had both from the public, and I'm also wondering about from Skate Canada?
So I've had a lot of outpouring of support from my fellow athletes, friends, and people I've never met before. I've gotten messages of other athletes within Skate Canada and coaches who've experienced racism, microaggressions, such as, a Black girl can't wear a black dress like everyone else in a carnival, like an ice show that they're doing, because she would disappear.
These are things you're hearing from people.
These are things I'm hearing from people. A lot of people are supporting me and are really behind me. Skate Canada has reached out to me wanting to talk, but I don't want to be used as a prop. If I'm going to come forward and make changes in Skate Canada, it's going to be on my terms. So I have not reached back out to them, even though they've reached out to me, because they've had a year to do so.
Yeah, they tried to set up a meeting when they contacted you, I guess, on Wednesday morning. So what do you think, what can your role be in this now? Not that you're bringing forward the issues within figure skating, specifically within Canada. What do you think that you might be able to affect?
Well, I think that we're dealing with a change that we have to have in Canadian mentality. And it starts at the top, from our leaders in government. We have Francois Legault, Doug Ford, and Justin Trudeau almost saying that our our connection with racism isn't as deep as America. There's 200 years of racism that we haven't talked about in this country. Missing and murdered Indigenous women. UN did a 2017 study of the inequalities here in Canada for Black and Indigenous people. These are things that we want to talk about. And of course, Skate Canada and Canadians, and especially white Canadians, don't want to talk or fix racism by doing the work because they don't even believe it exists. We want to will it away. We want to silence the voices that speak out on it. And then in the next breath, you want to put up rah rah, Black Lives Matter. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that because I know what I went through and how I felt defeated and let down, and that my oppression and what I went through was almost my own fault. I had to learn how to, pick myself up again, to be strong and start this process all over again to find justice in the skating community. So Skate Canada doesn't get to do that. It does not get to abdicate its role. It not only let down me, it also let down athletes that they are supposed to protect. And that is against the Safe Sport mandate that all sporting organizations have implemented. And it's been like a dog without teeth. They haven't done their work, and they do not get to claim that they've done it and say they stand with you, with me, when I'm like one of 3 of their top Black athletes in this last decade. And
there's not a lot of Black skaters, are there? That's absolutely true. Asher, you said something. You felt like it was because of you, like you were responsible for it, that it was your fault that you were on the receiving end of these kinds of things, and you had to pick yourself up. I'm just wondering where you are right now in terms of dealing with all of this, because you're still part of the skating world.
I'm still part of the skating world. I'm in a much better place because I'm working with my sister Acacia Hill, we started a skating school in Brampton called the Brampton Hill Skating Academy, and all of us are coaches of color. There's 3 Black coaches, and then we have another coach, Nobahar, who's our off-ice coach and coordinator. She's Iranian, and we're all people of color, and I feel insulated. I feel safe. I don't have to stand around waiting for someone to say some wild crap to me about race or microaggression, be like, wow, you can jump really high because Black people can jump, I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about that.
And you did before. And you did before.
I did. Yeah.
Do you think, as you were talking there about the political leaders and the things that you're seeing in response to these protests, it sounds like you're calling out people for hypocrisy, making statements of support now, but their actions and words previously don't illustrate that or support that. Do you think that this finally then might be a moment to have a transformative experience here that may help and provide what it is that you're looking for and calling for?
My experiences as a Black man in a white society, in a white sport, there's always like a nagging thing in the back of your head, be like, yes, we have this movement now, but will we be left alone? Will this continue? Will this be sustained? There's always that pessimism in your brain, but also you have to be hopefully optimistic all the time, because you do need change, because I'm fighting for the respect of my life, my voice, and my personhood. And I think in Canada, we like to ignore our past of racism, our present of racism. And we talk about George Floyd, but in Toronto, we had thousands. In Saskatoon, yesterday, there's thousands marching against police brutality. Aisha Hudson, an Indigenous woman shot and killed by police, 16 years old, in Manitoba. DeAndre Campbell shot in his home in Brampton. We have our own problems here with police brutality and inequality, and it's been documented. And we like to have this kind of holier than thou compared to our cousins to the south who, like, with all due respect or no respect, like a dumpster fire. We'll bask in their glow and then we'll condemn them, but not look in our own backyards. And we have to stop that. And if we want to make lasting change, we have to be able to look within ourselves, especially white Canadians need to be able to look in ourselves and look and help us, because it's heavy lifting. We need the help to lift off the weight of like racism and feeling uncomfortable in our own skin in environments that we, want to thrive in. Like I've been skating since I was 3 years old. I shouldn't have to feel like an outsider in my own sport.
Asher, thanks a lot. I can hear what this means to you, and of course it does. And thank you for sharing that perspective with us. And there'll be a lot of calls to focus on the Canadian situation today because you probably know a big call to action with protests coast to coast to deliver messages as you've done for us this morning. Thank you very much, Asher Hill. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Heather.
It's okay. Deep breath. Deep breath. That's a lot of emotion there, and understandably. Thank you, Asher. I appreciate that. If you want to read more about Asher's story, Devin Haru has put it up online for you, CBCNews.ca. There's a lot more there. Thank you.